Oh, well, hello everyone, and welcome here to the Daily Quest. Now, hopefully audio is all good. I'm in a great mood because I fixed my computer. The BSOD issues, blue screen of death, had been plaguing me pretty much ever since I got home from the holidays. And I just reinstalled Windows, reinstalled all the apps. It was a huge pain in the butt, but my computer is running better than ever, and I'm happy about it. Now, still a little bit sick, so apologies for that in advance. But if you tuned in yesterday, you already know what we're going to be talking about today. Now, we had an interesting daily quest yesterday. We took a look at Tassadar and a couple builds that, in theory, were played in a tournament, right? I get replays from a tournament website, and I generally just, the way I find all the replays I want to discuss, I don't necessarily have time to watch every tournament match, but a lot of times when I'm looking for my topic each week, I will just literally pull up in the replay, I will fast forward it to the end, and then I just, I play Hearthstone or work on something or whatever, then I look at the game when it's complete. I don't watch the game usually, and then I take a look at the build and I say, wow, that's really interesting. And when I did that yesterday, I saw a build that I've never seen before. I was like, whoa, this weird Archon Tassadar build. That could be really cool, right? I can't wait to see this unfold. Turns out it wasn't an actual tournament VOD. They uploaded the wrong replay to the website, and hilarity ensued, I suppose. So, as a result, we have spawned a new themed day that's going to be happening here for the Daily Quest. Every Wednesday will be Wonky Wednesday, where there'll be a challenge as to a style of play, either a build or a composition or, duo or something of that form to be used. Audio is crazy quiet, apparently. Let's see if I can remedy that. I a bit on the low side. All right, guys, thank you for the heads up on that. I don't know what I can do last minute's notice. I can actually check something very quickly, and I would rather get this fixed because, like I said, I just reinstalled Windows. I was expecting there to potentially be some issues that might exist, and I have a quick idea of what might be happening. Now, this build is really, really quite odd. It's the one here on the right, this Archon Tassadar, that I pretty much requested viewers to go ahead and use for today's show. And this has got to be it. Boom. Hopefully the audio is going to be significantly louder with me changing that. I cannot tell myself, but that in theory should have been the issue just in the playback devices. The recording devices, for whatever reason, is default at like 55%, which is kind of weird, right? So I don't know why it does that, but anyways, we got that resolved. Thank you guys so much for pointing that out, and I'm just excited to see exactly what these nerds are able to pull off in these games. We're gonna boot up the first replay here and just get straight on into it. Hopefully there's nothing weird going. Oh no, I probably don't have the observer file downloaded on this computer. I might have to do that quickly. Oh wow, Blizzard, so fancy. It's actually there. I'm impressed. I'm actually because the documents folder didn't get deleted. Nice esports action coming up here, guys, and we can take a look at our two teams. Now, both teams have a Tassadar. The person who submitted this replay didn't actually include their name. It had their real name as their email. And I'm not really too sure if it's Sublime or Flame G, I think is the other Tassadar. I'm not sure who it actually is. Can you go along, Vote, please? We need a team fight presence. Yeah. Nice. What's wrong with play again? That gives you team fight presence. Not damage, but team fight presence to an extent. Because Vikings just stay alive for days. All right, well, Flame G is stepping forward. We can take a look at the talent so far. We do see Conscious Pursuit and Conscious Pursuit, so pretty standard just for that mana retention. Once in a while, you'll see Tassadar players go the opposite route and get the mana restored from targets hit by Storm. But when it comes down to it, a lot of times we do end up seeing Conjurer's Pursuit be a little bit more valuable. Just going to adjust the game sound down just a little bit here. And let's get some music on. Yes! Very good. All right, Loki down here in the bottom poking away. Just kind of the specialist wars here in the bottom lane for Garden of Terror at the start of the game. And we have the Vikings split up in 2 lanes right now. So we've got Baelong hanging out here. Actually, all 3 lanes. Keep down here on Eric, diving forward, trying to get the kill here in Asmodee, and they do secure that. And we do see that one of the Vikings fell. Now, this is going to be a tough situation here for the red team, because Nova can actually farm Vikings pretty effectively as long as she's alive, and Eric is on the chase. She turns around, but Eric manages to get the kill, and we have Novas on both teams. So this obviously quick match, double Nova, double Tassadar, and mines, oh my, stepping all over them here in the middle of the game. Good job, good job. Nice esports, friendly camaraderie coming out between the teams here. And at least our red team, which confirms that this is Flame G that submitted the replay, because we can only see the chat of the player who played in that game. You can't actually go back and watch a replay and listen to your enemy team's chatter. That would be a little weird. I feel like my privacy was violated if you could do that. And Flame G, well, he has a very, very happy team right now. Juke in Revelations right now. He's got that Abathur hat on the Rhaegar next to him. But the Wolf goes out from Thrall, not quite connecting here. They're diving it in. It's kind of a 2v2 when you consider the hat, but definitely kind of a hard spot for Rhaegar to stick around. And he easily could have used his Wolf to run away in that scenario, just not really feeling like living in this moment right now. All right, we can see the seed 16 to 44. Red team have the advantage, collecting this Plant Terror will secure themselves the first Garden Terror of the game, and we can see that he is going for the Leeching Plasma. So this is going to make Tassadar seem like a really, support-centric hero, right? That's what you think, and he is a lone support versus double support. So this is going to be kind of a risky build to pull off. Archon, of course, doesn't really heal your team, but it does provide a lot of control for fights. Or excuse me, Forest Wall doesn't heal, but it provides control. But Archon, it just gives you a lot of presence, survivability, and damage. So they're 2 different styles. I think both can work in a lone support situation, but Forest Wall would be the preferred option. All right, bottom Plant Terror is falling rapidly. We do see the damage going out onto Rhaegar. Revelations doesn't know that he has the Z button. There he goes, wolfing away the root, connecting there on Thrall, but the seeds are successfully stolen here. And wow, full health is this team. They've got the Plant Terror growing. They have a huge advantage when it comes to seeds in general. Nice juke there on the Wolf by downside. And the downside of this is that they just have to defend this Plant Terror in just another moment. Vikings getting that soak up top. Keep's got to keep himself alive, tapping the well, getting his health back on up. And Loki pushing with Keep's Baelog. So Baelog, of course, the best at pushing out lanes. He's got that splash damage when he hits. Kind of like Greymane's Q, who comes out next week. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited for him. But Loki is taking a lot of damage, just wandering past Nova. The shields there from Tassadar will deny any damage from those spiders, but Loki is able to get away. Now, yesterday we talked about utilizing the overgrowth as efficiently as possible, and throwing it directly in front of your enemies is not the way to do that, right? Yes, it's going to hit more structures, but it will fall much more quickly, and at the end of the day, you really just want to kill the towers and the forts to get the experience. And now that he's gotten the towers and he threw down the overgrowth, it is a good idea to leave this lane, so good call there. Miss, too far forward, will get super low and end up falling here. That one final shot from Nova gets the kill, and we see a Viking ended up falling as well. But our Viking player, Keep, is actually controlling this Plant Terror right now, and he's just doing a lot of damage. That's just one of the great powers of Lost Vikings on this battleground in particular, is your ability to run around multiple lanes and control the Garden Terror with just one of your 3 Vikings. Very, very powerful thing for this hero, especially here on this map. A lot of people rotating on back. We see Dildozer, that's a name, is going to be kind of rushing towards Revelations, but not able to get the kill. They are pretty far deep into the enemy side, but they were buying time for Keep to take out this bottom fort, and that's a big deal. Getting a fort this early in the game is quite uncommon, and suddenly we have a very large experience lead here for the red team. Tanic 9 has the shields and the heals, double support paying off, keeping that Nova nice and fresh. But Tassadar Flame G should be going home pretty soon, or at least tapping the well, because he is very low. Okay, so his build, he's got Collar's Embrace, he's got the Leeching Plasma, he's got the Conch Pursuit, pretty much picking the first option here on the talent list every single time this game. Gonna go back to base to restore everything. He opts to go behind his wall. You consider the enemy team has a Nova. Not worth the risk of hearthing in the middle of the map. It's just a little bit too vulnerable of a position for any hero in the game, really, to do that. And Keep is just going to lose his Baelog. But the Nova battles. We see Mist coming on up. The clone will block the next shot. And Tanic 9 able to walk away after picking off that one Viking, getting herself one of those gathering power stacks. Apologies, guys. I am a little bit sick, and I just don't want to be coughing and sneezing into the microphone. That would be tragic, tragic indeed. So we're going to avoid that. But yeah, bottom lane, we have the Giants and Knights marching themselves in either direction, just flailing away. But here are those level 10 heroics. And yes, we're seeing Archon picked up. Now, Archon's going to do a lot of self-healing for Tassadar if he applies a shield and he gets that Leeching Plasma active, and then he smashes their face with all of those blasts out of Archon. You get the 675 shield, so it gives you that big buffer, and you get all of the additional damage and a bit of splash on top of it for 12 whole seconds. And you consider the shield as a 5-second cooldown. You can activate 2 shields during that. You can pretty much just keep those shields on you the full time while in Archon mode, and you just become a disgustingly powerful brawler. The big downside is you are subject to stuns, but beneficially in the situation, there's not a single stun on the enemy team. So this Archon in the face of your opponents could be rather powerful if used correctly and in the right situations. Keep will end up losing Olaf here. There's no getting away. Beautiful body blocks there by Revelations and Aetherhat. More than enough to secure the kill, but they're giving up a lot of seeds right now. We see Downside try to contest these seeds here from Bulldozer and Flame G. And this is a scenario where you think, oh, Force Wall is going to be godlike here. Nope, they've got the Archon, and he is just threading through Revelations. Rhaegar felt like he was nothing. They don't have level 10, so there's no Ancestral Heal available. Missed stepping on mines left and right. Kind of inconvenient to have mines all over the place, but that's the power of Abathur. And Balog just wanders into his own death. Good night, sweet little dwarf. Viking, I guess not all Vikings are dwarves, or not all dwarves are Vikings. But they look like dwarves to me, so we're going to call him a dwarf. Keep. Oh, he's slipping away, and he does manage to survive the onslaught of damage coming out of Tanic 9 here. But Tanic 9 not able to get the other gathering power stack from that little squishy Viking as he walks away. Okay, again, another Plantera is ready here for the red team. The blue team has not grabbed one yet, but they have 44 seeds. So if they did go contest and they picked up 99% of the seeds off this guy, they could get themselves a Terror of their own. But they just don't seem concerned about it. They're getting this kill here in the top lane. They got Nazebo, that's nice. They now have their level 10 heroics, so we're going to see Force Wall, Precision Strike, Blackpool with Ultimate Evolution, and then Ancestral Heal. But there's not a ton of real damage here. This Tassadar went Force Wall. Nova is a burst hero, but no sustained damage. Asmoden with the burst, if they manage to land a big globe with Taste for Blood, Blackpool, and the Nova follows up for Snipe, they could kill multiple heroes, so they definitely have potential there, but it's gonna be hard to pull off. We see the shields going off onto Tassadar. Nova's very low herself, but Dildozer is looking to Dildoze them into the ground. Backing away, the wolf goes out, wolf on wolf action, but keeps got to keep himself alive, backing away here. Flame G slipping into the backside of Revelations, too far forward. The self heals and the Ancestral coming out a little bit too late, and the stop from the boss hitting nothing. All right, we do see that Rhaegar did end up falling, trading out Rhaegar for Vikings, and Flame G activates that Archon mode, and he's stepping on forward. Beautiful zombie wall locking Downside into place. The Nova clone scouting the left side, and the beautiful Force Wall to disengage this battle, allowing Downside to walk away. Now this is going to deny the potential plant terror here for the blue team and put enough on the board for yet another plant terror. And all the while, we see that one of the Vikings has been sitting at the driver's seat of this plant terror here in the top. There's another one that will grow when this guy expires, and the red team is just so far ahead. Level 13 talents were indeed picked up. We do see Distortion Beam here, part of our Tassadar build to really get into the face of your opponents. So now we've got the Archon, you get Distortion Beam, you slow them down for 1.5 seconds, and you just keep charging at them. You just, especially if you can find a Nova out of position. Tassadar can reveal Nova with Archon, or not Archon, Oracle, and then Archon can slow her down, and it's just an easy kill at that point for Tassadar to really just rush her down and kill her. So maybe there is some cool potential with this build, but it's still not the same kind of safety and control that we get out of the normal Tassadar build that we would typically see in a competitive match. All right, well, the Vikings here in the bottom, just going to try to push out this lane. We do see that the plant terror has indeed expired, and it will be respawning again pretty soon. Revelations wants to push these guys back, just throwing down a totem for, you know, because just going to chase them, not going to kill them ever, not with this build. This is a full support build, and I'm actually really curious to see the fact that we actually have Cleanse here. Grabbing Cleanse over something like Lightning Shield or Earth Shield is interesting because it's really just the wolf that you can stop. You can't cleanse a zombie wall, and there's nothing else here that's standing out to me as being really scary you know, making cleanse seem oh so very compelling. Okay, well, the wolf goes out, and they don't even need the cleanse here, and they're just going to walk away from this battle. Revelations taking a fair bit of damage, just a globe going out wildly, hitting the giants. Not much more done than that, and Zebo able to grab himself a pack of bruisers here on the right side, using his gargantuan to merc with him. Some decent utility with that heroic in those situations. Bottom lane, Giants and Balog pushing this out, and we see up here in the top, it's just continuing to show complete domination. 3-level lead here for the red team, just dictating everything about this game. But level 16 is here, evasive shielding. Tassadar is now a mobile beast, and we are going to have to see what Flame G can do. He's going to juke the precision strike. Archon is off cooldown. We totally missed last time he used it, and I just want to find the use of that Archon so we can see its glory, because sometimes I just get into general casting mode. Let's see exactly what's happening. The whole house is shaking because the garage, I'm above the garage, and Kubi is apparently leaving the house. He's sick. I don't know where he's going. But yes, I hope you guys can't hear that, and we're just going to keep rewinding. We can see this cooldown here. I'm really only interested in finding out when this Archon gets used. Activated there, right over the edge of the force wall, stepping forward, looking at Tonic 9, but the double heal's a little bit much for him. He's slowly waddling forward, but he doesn't have that additional movement speed from level 16 yet. So we can see that Archon, yes, it did have some good power at doing a bit of damage and pushing them back. But without the additional movement speed at level 16, he couldn't really try to chase that Nova at all. Even with the slow, it just wasn't enough because he himself was slowed. But the Planetary here going to knock down this wall, doing a lot of damage here. 1300 XP granted from the 2 towers that just fell, and they're securing themselves an even greater lead, especially with these Vikings and Zebo being specialists wandering across the map. Even if they're just kind of hanging out, they're soaking experience at least somewhat efficiently. Thrall does end up going down, but this keep looks like it's going to fall as well. Flames G needs to be a little careful. He is Tassadar, and he doesn't have a full dimensional shift build. So he is walking away. We do see that the Nova has fallen. All those stacks that had been hard earned have now expired. We see the Abathur Nova and the real Nova trying to chase Flame G here. Snipe not quite gonna reach, and Flame G escapes the situation. Garden Terror has another 20 seconds on it, takes out a second keep. So those 2 heroes that chase will pay desperately for not defending here, and it looks like this bottom keep is going to be the next thing on the menu, but not enough health left here on this Planetary, so they're just walking away. All right, well, so far, I mean, this build is just showing off to be a pretty decent support style overall. The Archon does provide a little bit more damage. It's nowhere near as strong as it used to be in the past, but all things considered, okay, this Tassadar shield should allow Abathur to get out. Nice force wall, buying him the space that he needs, and Abathur slips away. Flame G trading out well here, and he pops that Archon going in, sundering there on Nova, and Tonic 9 will not get the Ancestral in time. Ancestral does a lot of damage. The stun from Olaf, a little micro stun, goes out, and Longboat Raid working on Revelations. The Archon does expire, not able to get that kill. I mean, right there you can see how much weaker Archon is compared to its previous iteration some months ago, because I mean they just were not able to kill that Rhaegar, and I really thought for sure he would have gone down there. Revelations does end up collapsing. The Globe of Annihilation comes out. It's still a dominant game, 7 to 8 in terms of kills, but the experience and structure speak for themselves. All 6 fortifications still standing on the red team, and all 6 are down here on the blue side. Globe going out, hitting several targets. His farm is quite poor. You can see how little damage that actually did. And they're going to just escort these catapults up to the core bottom lane, completely pushed out. Everything is pushed in, and they can back up and work on the seeds. That would be the safe thing to do here in this situation. 45 here in the bank. That's the total seeds gathered here by the blue team so far in this game. They really need to get something on the charts. I can't think today, boys. Being sick is hard. But yeah, I mean, Abathur's going to be good to defend this. They just really need to get themselves a Planetary, trying to push out a lane, try to just put heavy focus on a single lane and take out a keep. That will alleviate a lot of the stress that exists for the red team and potentially give themselves a chance to come back. But they'll need to win 2 to 3 team fights to even put themselves in a scenario where they can afford the opportunity to try to do something like that. A single team fight could be a keep, but 2 back-to-back team fights could get them a victory here. Problem being is level 20 is around the corner, and winning a team fight, 17 to 20 is pretty darn hard. Have they had a terror all game? No, Flame G, they haven't. They've got 45 seeds the entire game. That isn't even a single full terror. All right, we see Vikings throwing one of their Vikings into that plant terror. The fight's breaking out. Precision strike, gonna destroy Rhaegar very quickly in that battle. This Rhaegar has been out of position a little bit too often in this game, and the red team is working on this. Still 45 seeds here for the blue team. They didn't manage to grab a single seed in this night phase, and it looks like that will be their total seed count. That is impressive. 45 for the full game, just about enough for another plant terror here with this one on the core. That should be just about game. Tassadar build, how are the numbers for the damage? Oh, wow, actually pretty impressive. 23,000 keeping up with the Thrall, so... And he is the support. He's rocking that 41,000 in healing, outpacing the opponent's Tassadar, who went for a somewhat standard build, except the fact that he decided to go Distortion Beam without Archon. Distortion Beam is cute, but it's kind of really designed to work well with Archon more than anything, in my opinion. I don't really see the value in grabbing that talent if you're not going Archon mode in pretty much any situation, but it can kind of help your team kite. But honestly, if you're going Prescience, or if you're going for Force Wall, just go Prescience and Dimensional Warp. But it's going to get you better results every single time when you're playing as Tassadar. So that was the first replay here. Wonky Wednesday, submitted by Flame G. Flame G, thanks for the submission, bro. But we've got a few more to take a look at, varying in MMR and situations. I think they were all quick match. I don't think anyone was brave enough to actually go into Hero League and attempt to try this build there. But let's take a look at this next game, and we will be loading it up onto... Is it... Why is every game on Garden? I'm actually baffled. Well, we've got dueling Tassadars and dueling Artanis, and then we've got Sylvanas, Nazebo, Lunara, and Nova, Aswood, and Kael'thas. I swear, this is like the third Garden Terror game, and I think they've all used this build, so maybe this build is just destined to be played on Garden of Terror. I'm not too sure.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Let the battle begin.
He doesn't know what that means. That's a salute, man. That's a salute. All right, Tassadars, both going Conjurer's Pursuit. Conjurers? Yes, Conjurers. I did it, boys. I did it. And Zombie Wall will not connect here. We're actually going to fast forward this one a little bit, just because the early game action tends to be a little bit just kind of like la-di-da, doesn't mean all that much. And we want to see the potential of this build for a late game Tassadar. So boop, 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 boop. Nice little Tassadar, Artanises flipping each other around. It's a fun little game. They call it the Phase Prism Dance. They just kind of wiggle around each other, shooting out their little phase prisms. And the first night phase is here. Beautifully collecting the seeds. We can see 18 to 20. Yeah, just pretty darn even. This team has already halved the success of the blue team in the last game. Both teams might actually succeed their objective score in this game during the first phase. And oh, and boom, bam, boom. Explosions. Oh my. What is actually happening? Astrological. That is the player we're watching here. He submitted this replay. And Astrological, he's just kind of pacing around. Hyperion diving on in, riding his little Rainer mount. And a beautiful living bomb goes down. I cannot believe. I can't remember what that's called. I was going to call it a Warthog, the Rainer mount. What on earth? Vulture. Gosh, I'm the worst. It's called a Vulture. I'm actually the worst. Molfar is so far from his team that he's just down here pushing out this bottom lane. Molfar going for a Photosynthesis. Crippling Spores returns 8 mana per enemy hit. I've never seen someone pick up the talent with Dividing Wisp. Okay, the Wisp talent's they're whatever. I usually go for time lost, but I didn't know photosynthesis was a talent. I like erased that from my memory. It is not worth grabbing in any situation. Okay. Well, top lane, we can see this being pushed out. We see the General of Hell just kind of marching to its death pretty quickly. Usually want to use that a little bit more into the back line with your archers, at least until you can promote them with Bound Minion at level 7. All right, it looks like the Seeds, both teams looking poised to overcome the Seed score from the blue team in the last game, and they have done it. They have successfully surpassed their skills at collecting seeds in this game. Absolutely incredible play. And the Plant Terror will end up collapsing here on both sides. Zebo trying to run on in there to steal some seeds. A little bit of a risky maneuver. Nova sniping, the G-Labs connects, and then the Phase Prism goes out. So that's going to be it for Duck's Shrimp, whatever his name was. Dutch Shrimp. I bet Dutch Shrimp is delicious. All things that Dutch do are delicious. That's just what they do. They make delicious. Drew pushing out here with Molfar in the bottom lane. This wall will go down, but Astrological going to do his best to defend this. Level 7 to 6, slight advantage as Sylvanas approaches. This is a huge push, but Hyperion is here. Tassadar and Artanis, the Protoss buddies with their Terran Dominion friend to help them out. StarCraft versus whatever. Let's see if they can make it happen. The clone walks forward, will end up dying, looking for that dimensional warp on Lunara. No, just going to use a dash forward there. Pretty low on health are these two. Well, is it available? Yes, it is for both, so the Protoss could look to re-engage, but our Dutch Shrimp friend is back here in the bottom. Duck's X Crimp, but we're going to call him Dutch Shrimp. All right, so much damage from Lunara there, thrown onto Astrological, having to back a zombie wall, not quite connecting, but Hyperion is a little bit too far forward. No real support available. We see that Sylvanas went way forward. The self-heal or the shields will be there in time, and Astrological has to run away. Ends up being a 1-for-0 trade in favor of the blue team, but Astrological does have this full support build so far. As explained at the start of the video, this is the build that we're going to be seeing in each and every game. But things are going to get a little bit weird once we do see that Archon picked up. Now, looking at the tables this time, it's really just the Tassadar versus the Tassadar, and we're likely going to see Force Wall out of our blue team. If we see double Archon, I don't know what's happening in the world, because that is new to me. Archon is not what it once was. Peak's clone going to try to dissuade their approach, but obviously unsuccessful in doing so. But Hyperion, the globe goes down. Hyperion stepping forward. That Tassadar is very low. Beautiful Phase Prism there onto Molfar, but is it enough? Yes, Molfar will go down. Drew slips away on Tassadar, and just a random zombie wall to try to peel and deny their approach. 9 to 9, that evens up the XP with that last kill, and the soak has been rather good. Astrological getting bullied out of his lane by this Sylvanas, but now here's Nova. Peak takes a peek at Souljar, but Souljar is going to have to run from this with that Envenom. Instead of gathering power at level 4, he's going to be able to get very close to getting that kill, but no, he's able to tap the well and stay alive. Peak, you tried, man. You tried. It's okay. You'll be all right. Aurelius needs to back up Asmodan on his way to make sure that Soak is not lost here in the top lane. And structurally, we just have this bottom 4 that's low at this point in time. Experience still pretty darn even. Both teams approaching level 10 at around the same pace, but Nova is deep in the back line. All right, Peak accidentally shot the Giants, immediately retreats, and is indecisive as to which way to go. Just really worried about dying right now, trying to hide in the backside, and mounting up now. Ducks Shrimp. Oh no. Peak does have that precision strike. The zombie wall is used. One more snipe would do it, but of course it is uncooled on Astrological, trying to peel. Pops at Oracle to get eyes on the enemy team. And now we see that Dimensional Warp going off on Peak with that beautiful Spear of a Doom beam coming down. Peak needs to keep on running. Wailing goes out onto Hyperion and Aurelius. They are very low, and Astrological needs to get down there for the support. Asmo, no concern for his team, just going with a yellow push strap here in the top. And we see Astrological is working on these seeds. Very, in his lonesome, in a very, peculiar spot as this enemy team is pushing down this bottom fort, but at least he got the 15 seeds here. Now, Archon has been picked up. We also see that we got P-Strike, we got Blackpool, Phoenix, and then Purifier. Purifier on both sides. We do see a full poke style with a Thornwood Vine picked up, as well as Wild Vigor. And Molfar is doing his best to trade out here with Aurelius, but the shields of Tassadar, even in his beautiful Archon form. Oh my goodness, that Archon form is so handsome. Let's just take a look at that again. Oh, where is it? Yes, I want to see your Archon form. Oh. Oh. Blizzard art team, why? Why are you so good? No, I don't even care about Lunara. We care about this. Whew. It's nice looking. That was 12 full seconds. It felt like 2. That's how attractive. That's how attractive the Mecha Tassadar Archon is. Yay! I broke my mouse again. It just wiggles around. I did it, guys. I did it. I haven't done it in a few episodes, but I don't know. I aggravated the client somehow. Okay, level 11 to 11. We see the builds. They're identical for the Tassadar players, except for the heroic Force Wall versus Archon. We'll see what the superior heroic is. This game alone will determine which heroic is more manly based on the team that wins. Astrological stepping forward. Plant Terror wailing here on this bottom fort. Mid lane, there is a Plant Terror as well for the blue team. Experience starting to really trickle ahead here for our red team. Astrological about to have that level 13 talent, and he should go for the shield. And right now we see Dutch Shrimp is wailing away at this fort. Yes. Do we have the fall? Oh yes. Okay, not the shield. I am so dumb, guys. I'm sorry. It's distortion being picked up here for level 13. You see him channeling his little lasers at that overgrowth, looking mighty fine, doing it in process. And Dutch Shrimp wailing this away just like he was caught in the Pacific. That's where he belongs, but now he's Dutch. Trading out with Hyperion. Globe of Annihilation, not doing too much damage. Hyperion has lost his Plant Terror. Nova going sniper, no swiping. Oh, but that beautiful dimensional warp there from Artanis, not able to capitalize on that potential kill for Nova. Just a random Purifier beam being cast there onto our Dutch Shrimp, but Dominance is about to get dominated. Wailing used in desperation, but Artanis able to pick up the kill. Hyperion, full Evangelion status, slaying angels left and right like a god. Or I guess, would God slay angels? That makes no sense. Hyperion gonna get very low. Dimensional Warp getting away from the Ravenous Spirit. The self-shield and the shield from Tassadar actually keep him alive. That was an absurd play. The Nazeeba will fall. Dutch Shrimp dying to the explosion from that. And Nova going into the back line will find this Tassadar in the back. That just leaves the Sylvanas by her lonesome here, and Aurelius is moving on in. Living Bomb going off, double kill, triple kill, quad kill here for the red team, and I still cannot believe that ridiculous play. So we're actually going to take a look at that Artanis Tassadar play to escape the Ravenous Spirit at the start of that little scuffle here we had in the top. So I think this is right as it happened. Let's go back just a little bit more because I would like to actually just point out how nice this little play was. So positionally, Nazeeba's down here, Artanis is here, and Tassadar is just being a good support in the middle of his team. And Nazeeba wants to push the team back. So the zombies have uprooted kind of a weird talent, and they're running in. Hyperion's taking a lot of damage right here, right? And he dives in. So this is like him saying, look, I'm not afraid of you guys. This is going to get me a lot of self-sustain. I mean, if we look at Artanis' build, he's got the cooldown reduction for his shields, and he's got the faster recharge for everything when he uses his dash. So that's going to give him a lot of just shield recharge as he hits several targets with that. And it's going to recharge rather quickly. But the thing is the Ravenous Spirit is cast very close. He's super low on health. We see the Envenom go off on him. Tassadar is in just about every situation dead, except for the fact that he uses Phase Prism to trade locations, getting himself away from this Ravenous Spirit immediately. Hyperion, I wish I could look at the cooldown on his self-shield. We see Astrological charging on in, going to throw that shield down immediately. So he's got the self-shield and he's got the Artanis shields. And if Hyperion was to turn around and run away in this situation, he would probably die. But, of course, the cooldown reduction to get that trait back on up and get his shields active again as he just charges forward. And he does, again, get them restored once again there, doing a lot of damage. We see the damage being done to Dutch Shrimp to kill him. Just a really, really cool little engagement that we saw happen there. And honestly, that was just a beautiful play. The Protoss synergy is real, honestly. The short cooldown on the shields with Artanis, like Artanis Tassadar is actually a very volatile composition. It just allows them to be very aggressive together and very sustainable together because it's so hard to kill the two of them, especially when they're together. So that was a very fun little situation where we saw Phase Prism used in a defensive manner, which we don't see used all that often, especially as like a snap call. So well done by Hyperion in that instance. We do see 80 seeds have been picked up, and there is not enough remaining on the field for the blue team to get a plant terror of their own, but the red team, they only need the 20, so they're more than capable of grabbing themselves a plant terror. They're pinging ferociously down here at the bottom of the map, and everyone is funneling their way on down. Now Lunara is working on a giant camp, and I would click the mini-map to look at her to see how poorly she's doing, because she's not the best at soloing mercenary camps. She takes a fair amount of damage, but I cannot ping because my mouse is broken, so we're just gonna take a look at this. All right, well, we can see that this plant terror is in fact going very much the way of the red team. They're about to have level 16. Lunara is just now capturing those giants. Took her a very long time. Should have been here helping the team, and the wailing arrow goes out. So they managed to get the kill on Kael'thas. That's a big win, and that Ravenous Spirit very safe in the backside. Peek's peeking on in, but his focus is a little bit split. There was a lot of damage done on Tassadar. Dimensional Warp denying him the approach there, and then we saw the damage go off, and Archon has been used. So Astrological, he's got that slow, and he's got the movement speed from his shield if he activates it on himself, and they're able to just step on in there and get some kills. Given that shield to Artanis, look at that movement speed that he has. Artanis is already scary to run away from, but you consider the additional 25% movement speed on Artanis, and then he's just that much more scary. The two of them going back to base to refuel their tanks and pick up that plant terror that they just earned themselves. And we do see this top lane, the giants that were picked up by Lunara plus Sylvanas is actually taking a lot of damage. So this is really helping even the experience out for the blue team, granting them a lot of XP from those towers. And if they were able to get this fort, it would be huge for them. But with the plant terror arriving with Astrological and pretty much the entire crew, they're going to have to back away. All right, I am very much sick, and apologies for the random breaks that happened here and there. But you gotta do what you gotta do, ladies and gentlemen. Throwing down the overgrowth in an offensive position, forcing them back behind their wall. But it did do a fair amount of damage in this instance, so not the worst. Hyperion backing away, Queen's Curse down, connecting onto a single target, now making his way to the middle of the map. This fort still stands, overgrowth back to the right side. A good position here because it will not only take care of the towers, but it will work on the fort. And we do see Dominance actually going forward with Dimensional Warp, going for too aggressive here. The Queen's Curse activates, and then a friendly zombie while holding him in place. Very unfortunate. Dutch Shrimp is like all about that mutiny, about being a traitor and just destroying his friends. He put that little sheep in its pen, and he didn't care that sheep was actually part of his own faction. Okay, Dutch Shrimp takes a ton of damage from Kael'thas and Asmodjams, boys, collectively. And they are backing on up. Peek is peeking on in, but peekaboo, I see you. Not enough for the kill. Globe of Annihilation will hit no one, but it does do a fair amount of damage to this middle keep. And Lunara is playing a solo game. Yes, we can scroll slowly. Now, Lunara, the little damage you did here, is it worth losing a keep that you might have been able to defend? Lunara, I get that you're like a Bambi. I get that like you're all about being wild and shit. But you should help your team because you're going to die from a Nova and the entire team collapsing upon you. Oh my goodness, Molfar, you have died. And you were way out of position. You should have been helping your team, and you deserve that death 1,000 times over. Even your poorly placed Wisp that was right next to your body couldn't save you. Congratulations, Lunara. All right. Anyways, while the middle keep did end up going down, we are watching the Mercs get picked up here, and then Mercs picked up on the right side, and then we will likely see all of these Mercs picked up as well. Sylvanas wanting to push down this top fort, but knowing that not having eyes on the enemy team, a little bit too risky to approach that very good just restraint from marching on forward. Peekaboo does see Soljar and will work on him like he's nothing. So Soljar does fall very quickly. He was playing safe and then said, you know what, maybe I can get these seeds. You know, that'd be nice. I can just haunting way over my wall after. No, not today. Unfortunate that the enemy team was on your case far before you realized it. And we do see that the dimensional, or not dimensional warp, the Oracle will be cast there by Tassadar. Okay. Beam coming down on both sides. Double lasers don't cross the streams. And oh my god, a triple cross. Absolutely disgusting. And we do see the explosion going off. So 2 kills, 3 kills there from our red team. And Hyperion is just in the face of the enemy team. Just all the movement speed he gets from the Tassadar shields. And then a Zealot charge. Like, there is no escaping him. It's actually really fun to watch this Artanis Tassadar combo. Astrological got to heal up, but of course, running this build can't really get that self-heal with Dimensional Shift and things like Prescient. So it's really kind of difficult to keep yourself as topped off as Tassadar as other healers. Of course, if you shield and then have a target to hit with your leech, then it might work out well for you. But in this situation, it probably is the right call to go back to base. We're going to end up seeing another Plant Terror picked up here for the red team. The blue team has not had one in many night phases. That 45 number it's not the first game. They actually had a full Plant Terror before, but now they're back to 45. That's like the cursed number, it seems, here for Garden of Terror in these games, because a lot of teams just keep getting stuck at 45. All right, Artanis go deep into the backside. Tassadar is there, but Hyperion might be a little bit too far forward. No, I'm wrong. He's just a boss. Drew is going to get dumpstered here. Oh, no, Force Wall is plentiful to escape. Peak taking a lot of damage himself, but Astrological has the shields, and now Dominance is about to get dominated. The Archon still on cooldown for quite some time, and Malphar is helping the team here in this match. But Dominance ends up going down. Lunara falls as well. That's a 4 for nothing in a situation that should have been a full disengage here for our blue team. We see their channel and working on this Plant Terror here in the bottom. Terror is ready to be summoned, and it will be Hyperion as Artanis getting into the driver's seat of that Plant Terror and marching directly down the mid lane. He wants to go straight for the core by the looks of it. 30-second death timers on 2 heroes here for the blue team. They'll be just about up by the time the Plant Terror reaches there, but guess what? There will be, no, they're a little bit short, I guess. There will not be another Plant Terror. So unfortunate. 5 short. Deja vu. Last game there was a 95 collection at one of the phases. Well, we can see the Queen's Curse just being thrown out, the Overgrowth being thrown at the bottom, trying to work on all 3 structures at once, trying to maximize its range, but in turn it's getting blown up rather quickly. Bottom tower gonna fall, and we do see both teams back up at full strength, but it's 21-19. Storm Talents versus no Storm Talents. That means Dark Archon, boys, and Archon is going on in. We do see the Purifier Beam forcing Astrological back, but he just switches his focus to Soul Jar. The burst from Nova, beautiful Phase Prism, actually putting Astrological in aggressive position. Thought he was actually going to go ahead and get Soul Jar there, but instead he has to back up. He gets very low and will end up dying here for the final shot there of the keep. So Astrological down, Plant Terror still standing. Bottom keep is incredibly low, and that Globe of Annihilation not quite enough to do it. Peeking on in. So huge damage there onto Tassadar. Haunting Wave used and Sylvanas both live. Peace Strike. Wasteful. Boop. And 2 keeps down. 3 keeps down. Esports. Red team sitting in a dominating position right now. They only need 5 more seeds for another Plant Terror, so when the next night phase comes, they're going to look to, seal the deal. That Overgrowth just going to be an annoyance. It'll die very quickly. General Hell marching this wave of minions in, but the shields will stand strong. Mercenary camps. Every single merc camp in the game is available. Red team is posturing around several of the lanes, primarily the bottom lane. But they should be really just working on merc camps. Keep that blue team cleaning up after you. Keep them defending as long as you possibly can. Aurelius taking a lot of damage here, bolting away to safety. We do see the Purifier Beam just chasing Soul Jar, so it's a nice disengage. But they need to work on these merc camps. Aurelius went back to base. Anxious Nax is all alone right now, and he has overstepped his bounds. Now, Asmodan, he didn't go for Bolt of the Storm. He is going to end up dying in just a moment. There's no running away from this Lunara. Way overstaying his welcome. Artanis able to grab the giant camp on the top left side, and just, losing your Asmodan this late in that kind of situation, it's a full death timer. So this puts you a little bit on the back foot when it comes to team fight capability, but they have so much map control that it really shouldn't matter as long as the team plays safe. All right, we do see the Artanis is swapping positions. Huge damage going off, and Artanis is blown up on the blue team. Pure Fire Beam was cast in desperation as he died. That Forest Wall, actually nice disengage here for Drew, but Astrological trying to chase in, not really able to get much done with that Archon form, and that is a very long cooldown that did very little in that engagement. The Zebo defending those giants that were picked up in the top lane by Artanis a bit earlier, and Asmo will be back up soon. So 40 seconds on Artanis, 20 on Asmodan, and we're seeing again more map control here for the red team, and that's just the advantage they've earned by grabbing all of those giant camps throughout the world. Okay, boys, we do see giants here. Top side, they're going to be picked up. Seeds will be spawning in 5 seconds. And that is going to net the red team pretty much an instant plant terror. They should just get ready to grab one immediately and throw their entire team at the core with the plant terror. They have the advantage. Just take it. Just get in there and just start slowly poking away at the core. Throw your abilities. Throw your clones, your phoenixes, and your overgrowth at the core and whittle it down, and then commit once it's pretty weak. That's the safe thing to do here. But the battle is actually starting far before they can even consider doing that. Artanis is in the back, grabbing that plant terror, and he is at the driver's seat, and they'll be marching across the map. And we're back. All right, well, Zebo apparently disconnected. Rage quit. He's going to walk home. And, oh my goodness, that bot is a god. Not the Globe of Annihilation or Precision Strike could hit it. Just beautiful play by Nazibot. And we do see that Nazibot has fallen. Hyperion, full health. Molfar, quite low on Lunar, backing up to the Hall of Storms to heal up. Dominance has AFK'd, said, I've had enough of this game. Get me out of here. I'm sick of playing with these kids. GG. Archon Tassadar, boys. All the things. Esports. I think I've got it in me to try one more. Oh, come on. Casting is surprisingly hard when you've got lots of what? I hit quit, not load new game. How did that even happen? Whew. All right. Well, the entire client is bugging out. So I will Alt F4. Yes, Heroes of the Storm. I would like you to close. Whew. Yeah, so tonight Town Hall Heroes does indeed return, guys. That is very exciting. This Tassadar build is, I guess we're kind of seeing why we don't normally see it, but it's quite interesting. You know, I enjoy seeing new things, but I'm not too sure how much of a future this build actually has. But it's okay. It's okay. Game number 3. Did I skip game number 2? I did. That was supposed to, I marked the games wrong. We were supposed to watch this game second. Not that it matters. I just kind of grab a few replays and say, okay, and I name them. That's the esports thing to do, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, Banur going to be playing as Tassadar in this game. And it's another double Tassadar. There's a lot of double Tassadar games. We're going to Sky Temple, a different map. How esports is that?
Ceaseless battle, if you wish to live, that is.
Okay, well, now this is a double support scenario where we're going to see Banur with Morales, and then they've got Rexar as their lone warrior, which is going to be rough, and then Nazebo Nova. So good sustain damage, pseudo damage, burst. Could work. Enemy team, double support as well. We've got Lili Tassadar, and then Asmodan, who is going a E build, potentially. Tassadar went for overload, so this is increased range. I don't see the huge benefit in having increased range on this map, but you know we'll end up seeing how he ends up building it. It is a double support, so we might go a full static charge build, and then Diablo as their warrior. Very heavy initiation compared to what we have here. Could see stun bot on Misha, but time will tell. All right. Watchtower control being fought over blue team. Looks like they'll be successful for the time being. Mid lane, Diablo flipping Banner. Banner trying to go the wrong way. And does he have those shields available? Oh, he is just pulling them all around. Being a boss, keeping himself alive here in the mid lane. And then we have the specialist battle here in the bottom. Pretty common to have that lone lane be a battle between specialist and Nazebo fares relatively well versus Asmo. Asmo's pretty good at solo lane, especially with general health. He utilizes it in his own lane, but of course you can always use that across the map, something that I often do, just because I'm confident in holding the lane even without the general health in most matchups. The general health can, spin something in your favor in a lane where you might get a tower earlier. Shrines are now spawning top and mid as always, and Rexar's just kind of wandering forward. He gets hit by a wolf, but he is a bear. Oh my. And we do have this guy now available. We see Medic is actually going to be the one sitting on that point. Asmoden does get destroyed here in the bottom. Nice rotation from Nova, so that's a big kill. And that's a lot of experience that, they won't be getting here in the bottom. But actually, blue team opts to leave the bottom lane as well. And they're going to be putting a bit of an extra presence here in the mid than they had prior. 2 members here in the top. Asmoden is down. Nazebo and Nova opt to not try to contest Diablo Lily. Pretty powerful duo. Hard to kill them. So it's probably smart for them to not do that and score. And oh, I thought Nova was going to go in, but instead Nova gets shadow charged by Diablo and has to run away from this desperately. He just used his shadow charge, so it's still on cooldown. He might go back into the shadows. The fire does not connect, and Nova gets away, but Sidestorm comes out. Oh my goodness, Thrall just runs by Nova, and Nova does manage to live. Thrall, you need to watch the game, bro. You could have just thrown out a single chain lightning. Asmund has resumed his duties here in the bottom to push out this tower. And yeah, that's going to be a nice advantage going into the second temple phase, because having that bottom tower down is going to be a huge advantage for you, potentially, if you do happen to capture the temple favorably, because that could result in a fort going down. So many low health bars on all over the place, split focus everywhere, and no one ends up falling on the red team. And Nazebo is now finally making his way down here after both towers have been lost. Zombie Wall not going to connect on Asmo, but it will help push this lane back, and the General of Hell will do its dutiful duty to push this all forward. All right, we see the double hearth. The support's going back home. Top 4 is pretty low, and we do see that the mid 4 is equally about as weak here due to the success of the middle shrine here for red team. All right, we see Nova wanting to step forward, but you're never going to get that kill. I mean, spending your mana to do that to Diablo, I don't even know if it's worth it. Just look for a target that's more squishy. I mean, find an Asmund that's overcommitted and get the kill like you did earlier. Generally speaking, going to be a little bit more favorable. Rexar getting those fat heals from Medic, and they do manage to trade out. Misha Charge gets the kill. So a nice kill there. Those fat. I mean, when you see a Medic healing even a Rexar, that target is going to be very difficult to kill. Orc battles galore, but Tassadar, I don't know if he's going to be able to get out of this one. A lot of damage. Oh, the shields are there in time, so Tassadar is alive, but he's very low on mana and very low on health. Nova can just kind of hang around and soak, and that's the preferred thing for her to do right now, as Banera has to go back and, top himself off. But wow, the slow there. Is Misha Charge available? No, Misha's backing on up, so Tassadar will live to see another day. Zebo has done his best to try to push out this bottom lane now that they took a little bit of damage here, at least on the well. And Zebo's able to really just kind of even things out a little bit, but not going to be able to do any damage to these towers whatsoever, and maybe has overstayed his welcome. Marcin running away from Diablo, but the flip after the shadow charge is making it quite hard. I'm not sure if Zombie Wall will be ready in time. Marcin, the globe. Oh, wow, just a little bit shy. Cannot believe he lived through that, and he's just gonna go back to base. All right, we do see this bottom temple currently being channeled. Medic did end up dying, so Medic does need to respawn and come back on into things. Nazebo going back to base. Looks like our Rexar is just going to hang around in the top, not wanting to contest this bottom shrine. I think that's a bit of a mistake. Even if they trade out a fort for a fort here, you're just giving up massive free siege for your enemy team, but at least they'd have the soak. But, waiting a long time, now opting to go down after it's a little bit too late. The fort's even fallen. You might as well have just kept the XP, but getting the kill here on Thrall is a huge start to the fight. So if he does rotate, make his way into this fight in a situation where they could get a big team wipe, it could be huge, especially to get level 10 first. Would be nice for the team. Rexxar needs to get in here, and he needs to get in there quick. Zombie wall bought so much time. Diablo goes down. Misha charge hitting all 3 targets, and it's Pluho War that's gonna fall next. Beautifully done. I mean, Rexxar showed up late, but it paid off. The triple Misha charge stun, you know, that did lots and lots of damage. So this top lane, although it didn't end up going down, we do have the experience lead here for blue team. And now that they've lost their bottom fort, they want to even the odds. They just want a team fight here in bottom. There's no reason to not push this out, but they're giving away a lot of soak that could have been received. So even if they send one hero, maybe you just send your Tassadar to mid lane to just soak that mid lane and make sure you're soaking at least 2 lanes. It's generally going to be more efficient for the team as a whole, because they missed at least 5 minions here in the mid lane that they could have been picked up. Diablo currently working here. Oh, Lily, nope, they're all gonna back away. Tassadar is moving on up. Asmodan just went back to base, and they will step on in here to take this camp. No, Scorn is back, and Diablo's charging in, finding Nova out of position. The zombie wall, though, is plentiful to get the kill on Lily. Beautifully done by Zebo. Rexxar really doesn't have any concern to actually help his team. He was the soak master, the PvE king, and Thrall, you know, that orc life, the orc lone life. It's the only way to live, I guess, if you're an orc. Just solo push, do your own thing. Well, we do see the Giants were indeed collected here by the blue team, taken aggressively against their opponents after they got the kill on Lily, and they do have their level 10 heroics. So Archon, of course, picked up here. As always, we're seeing the same build as requested. So thank you guys for obeying the request for this style. And this is a pretty fun little Rhaegar build, or Rixar build. I like the slow him out, and then you got Aspect of the Beast, so it's like a control, full-on control style. The stun bot Rexxar, it's very, very volatile, especially when that's really the only kind of control you have on your team other than zombie wall. But gotta say, this Nazebo has been getting the godly zombie walls this game. He's already done plenty, so props to Marcin for his play. Bottom shrine and top shrine available here, and Nova's going to grab this watchtower, just granting them the vision that they need. Now, in situations like this, you can often say that the bottom shrine is the more valuable shrine because of the proximity to the boss. And if the enemy team has no eyes on, or nothing like sentinel to really give them vision, oh, that was an interaction, boys. Oh yeah, esports. So they have no eyes down here. They could grab boss. They could leave. Oh, no, Thrall's down here. Excuse me. But if Thrall hadn't been down here, you could just leave Rexxar on the shrine alone and then throw the rest of your team at the boss. And, you know, it's a really nice little play that you can do. Nova opting to scout all alone. Obviously, there is a Tassadar, so this is a very dicey situation. Tassadar can reveal you with Oracle. And bottom lane has been pushed out. Giants being escorted here by Zebo and Tassadar, and Medic and Rex are more than capable of doing this as a pair. Now, forts very much in favor of the red team right now. We see that all 3 forts have fallen here for the blue team. They've started to take a little bit of damage. Oh, Nova will die here. Nova, you're dead, right? Oh my god. This guy is getting away with murder this game. I can't believe it. Okay. Well, middle fort is not even down yet, and top fort is still standing as well. So definitely behind when it comes to structures is our blue team. Rexxar just escorted this enough. That should be plenty. Bridges tend to be a bad thing to cross. They're often called bridges of death, just because it's so easy to get locked in there or put into a bad situation. Task gonna rotate up here. Banera scouts this out. We do see he's picked up his level 13 talent, and Thrall does end up falling. So we actually get a nice kill on Thrall, which is good. Archon popped with that Ravenous Spirit, but unfortunately, Banera was a little bit too far away to really take advantage of his Archon. Now, he does have 13, so having Distortion Beam is super beneficial for, you know, maximizing the damage. What, Archon battles? I didn't even notice this till right now. Holy crap. What? This is a full ham. This is a classic, more classic at least, style of Tassadar. I'm not really sure I agree with Overlord. I almost said Overlord. I was like, it's not called Overlord. Yeah, so this is a more classic Tassadar. This is our pseudo support Tassadar with the rush down, and it really kind of pieces itself together at level 16 once we actually get the level 16 talent for the additional movement speed from your shields. But I don't know. We're gonna have to. You gotta kind of flank with it, I think, to really get the full success out of it. All right, Banur, he's got those shields there. Oh, the point blank triple attack with the Sundering, and then the shadow charge, Nighty Night Nova. And Misha charging on in, but that is still a 1-kill advantage. The zombie wall after the root, and that is a very low thrall, but Apocalypse and Cups are managing to keep him alive. I don't believe it. Rexar is super far forward, but the medic heals are there. Wow, what an exchange of blows. Now Marcin is way too far forward. The beautiful zombie wall, again, they've been great all game long, is keeping Thrall out of this battle, but Kitty Poor, whatever the hell the name that medic is, does die to the all shall burn the channel. The full channel build here for our Asmodan. What on earth is happening? XR, Misha charge, buying the time he needs to slip away. 1 second till Archon is up. The globe goes out, but it's not going to pick up a kill as it is a full-on E build here for Asmodont. Nova, best lane clear in the game. If you're playing Nova, you should just lane. You should just push out minions all game long. No, I kid. Probably the worst laner in the game, but of course, responding to these giants is the right thing to do in this situation, and we do see both shrines being controlled by the red team. Favorable team fight, they force them back, they're now controlling the shrines, but blue team, although quite far behind in structures, is up a full level in experience. They're sitting up 9 kills to 3. They've had the better team fights. They have these knights doing a lot of damage to the top lane. They have it all pushed out, which is great. And now they're working here on the mid lane. Cups are up. We do see the triple attack does end up shredding through Thrall this time around. And Archon moving forward, slowing down Diablo. The movement speed, they need to slow down. Then is it one hit on Lily with the Ravenous? There would be crazy synergy. So Tassadar with Distortion Beam, or a Distortion Beam paired with Lily, paired with Nazeebo with Ravenous Spirit, a really interesting combination that could be lights out for just about any hero in the game if you manage to line that up properly. So cool attempt there, but still it's a favorable team fight here for the blue team. They actually get another kill, 2 kills to nothing in this most recent fight, and they secure themselves the final shots here from this mid-temple. Structures are relatively even, problem being is this keep is incredibly low, and that could be a problem in the grand scheme of things. Now Diablo, or excuse me, Asmodan, one of the demons in this game, could continue to throw Generals of Hell here in this top lane to try to really push it out and try to threaten this keep even further, and that is the advised thing to do in these kind of scenarios. All right, looks like Thrall's trying to run away. Zombie Wall forcing his path upwards, and the sweeping strike not able to hit him, but a sundering on just about the entire team. But Medic's got those heals. Thrall steps back on in, and an initiation did not work out. Apocalypse used, hitting just about the entire team as well. 4 for 5 on both of those heroics, but it's still just too much sustain here. Zombie walls have been on point. We do see the spiders and the sweeping strikes, and then the static or the side storm going out, not quite enough to kill Lily, but these middle towers are going down. Structure's starting to even out. Misha is a boss, just walking back home. That men pet, and then the heal of medic going to be sufficient to keep Misha well alive in this top lane, which, you know, we talked about General of Hells that could have a big impact. This General of Hell isn't really going to do much. It's not necessary. It's a global cast. You know they weren't present here. If General of Hell had been cast by Asmodan and active during all of those encounters, this keep would have gone down. Like, straight up, it would have died. So that's just one of those great powers of Asmodan that is often not fully utilized in Heroes of the Storm. Well, we see Misha just tanking away at these giants. We're going to have this all picked up here, and that will be giants marching down the bottom lane, but knights picked up here for the red team as well, and this is quite good considering this is the keep of interest, right? This is the keep they want to kill, and it is very vulnerable. Mid shrine is the only shrine that will be active, and well, this is the most vulnerable structure here for the red team. So if blue manages to win this, it could be great for them. I believe Sundering was just cast test. We saw fading there. So we do see Thrall diving forward without his heroic, and the Tassadar slow down. The damage from Archon is really showing off here and shredding through that Thrall, and he does ultimately go down. Cup's almost enough, but not quite. Stimpack drone on Nova. Sniper, sniper, sniper. Oh my goodness, Misha. Leisha's not able to get the kill. Sweeping strike connecting on Tassadar, forcing Scorn to retreat as spiders nip at his heels. But we do see Hayes just waiting in the bush, and he does get the kill. Beautifully done. 2-0. The middle shrine will be controlled, but this top keep will fall as they neglected these knights. The knight push was very well timed for this shrine phase, and that was the weak structure. So a huge pickup here for our red team. Middle keep will go down 1-1 in terms of keep destroyed. But oh my goodness, the risky plays. Now, blue team is like, all right, where's red team? Or they're not even asking them this help. They have to be wondering, where are they? They're defending. They have eyes on not a single player. And yes, there's the ping. Nova gonna scout it out. Sees Diablo immediately. Knows what's going on. Trying to blow up Diablo. Does he have enough in the tank to do it? Super low Shadow Charge disrupting him. The heals from Lily keeping him alive. Nova is all alone in her efforts and she dies. Should have gone for Lily in that instance. Diablo is a very hard hero to kill. Zebo getting up there. Could be a big zombie wall here. Apocalypse not going to hit anyone. We have Tassadar on the point. The zombie wall is there, blocking down that Asmodee, and Asmodee goes down. And Ravenous Spirit used point blank on Diablo, and of course the Lily up there in the back, or whoever that was, Thrall that died in the front. Yeah, so they will successfully manage to seal this. Now Nova, well done. You know, you had the clairvoyance to realize what was happening. You scouted it out. Just kill the support. Don't kill the warrior, even if he's the closest target, because, well, you're probably not going to kill the warrior like that in that situation. Lily, much more vulnerable to your burst damage, and could have gone a little bit better for you in that instance. All right, Rexar is just, you know, playing his solo game as always. This is what Rexars do apparently, and we do see Archon mode has been activated, trying to get that lockdown, get that damage done to Diablo, but it looks like he's not doing any damage. Like, Archon mode is so sad. He used to be so badass, but nowadays, oh my goodness, how you have fallen. But the boss does plenty of damage, so they do manage to get the keep. Bottom keep fallen, 2 keeps down here in favor of our blue team, and 2 shrines have spawned. If blue team managed to control both shrines, they end the game. But it's kind of hard to do that. Just find one, focus on it. But no, Thrall says, I'm going to go full on ham mode in the backside and die. And it's going to be lights out for me. Even with double support, Thrall just keeps dying, it seems. Going a little bit too deep. Need to commit. And we could see better synergy with Sundering into Apocalypse. You could have a better, stronger combinations with that. Cup's not enough to save Diablo. He does not have enough souls, and that's 2 members down. And likely lights out here. Core down to just 75% remaining, and it looks like our red team has done it. Who would have thought? Everyone that submitted replays today made sure to submit replays of games where they won. Never would have expected that. Ladies and gentlemen, GG, the Tassadar build for Walking Wednesday, confirmed to be kind of booty. I will say that Archon is just a little underwhelming in its current form, which is pretty much why we tend to not see the heroic used anymore. Forest Wall is, you know, potentially one of the strongest initiations possible. So it's just, you know, very prominent in the meta, and for good reason. Forest Wall is a very good heroic, very low cooldown, great for running away and great for initiating on your opponents. All right, well, that's going to do it for Daily Quest number 32. There will be Wonky Wednesdays every Wednesday moving forward. I have not decided on a topic for next week, but next week is, in fact, actually Greymane week. So what we're going to be doing for hero launch weeks is pretty much putting a larger focus on those heroes for that week of choice. So we did it for Lunara. We made a lot of content, and there will likely be a submission for next Wednesday based on a style of play for Greymane in particular. So look forward to that. I'll announce details on Twitter and, of course, on the Discord channel. You can find more about Discord. All of the information is linked here on the Twitch page below, or you just type !Discord in the chat. But thank you so much for watching. I'll be streaming in just a little bit. GG's.